Hello and welcome to New Frontiers on CCTV International. I'm Ji Xiaoqun in Beijing, and today we're continuing our exploration of the city that's believed to have been the capital of Huangdi, the legendary ancestor of the Chinese nation. In today's episode, we're investigating the mysterious figure of Chiyou, a contemporary of Huangdi and another hero of ancient Chinese history. The story goes like that. 5,000 years ago, a great battle was fought near what is today the city of Zhuolu, in which the combined forces of Huangdi and Yandi defeated the army of Chiyou, and Chiyou was killed. At least that's the popular version of events. The historians, however, are a little skeptical.
In the previous programs in this series, we revealed how significant archaeological discoveries made one after another in the Sanggan River area have verified that an ancient saga of Yandi, or the Yan Emperor, and Huangdi, or the Yellow Emperor, two tribal leaders who lived in prehistoric times, is based on truth. This program looks at the question of where Chiyou, a contemporary of Yandi and Huangdi, came from, and whether he too left any traces in the Zhuolu area. If such traces cannot be found, then the famous Zhuolu campaign fought between Yandi, Huangdi and Chiyou as recorded in history books would be in doubt. After the highly significant Sangguan relics were discovered in 1979 in Yuxian County, in the early 1980s, yet more finds were made in Yuxian County through the joint efforts of the Hebei Provincial Archaeological Institute, Zhangjiakou Museum, and the Archaeological Department of Jilin University. These finds are known as the Shaizi Lingluo, Sishe Lipo, and Zhuangke relics. These discoveries revealed the Yangshao, Hongshan, and Longshan cultures had coexisted for a very long time. At the Shaizi Lingluo site, archaeologists found, apart from fire pits, the remains of 7 rectangular houses of different sizes, their doors facing in different directions. The living quarters inside these houses seemed to have suffered a fire of some kind. At the site, archaeologists also found a greater number of stone tools. Among the tools were stone clubs, axes and spades, and in pit number H13, more than 50 arrowheads made of stone. From these finds and 809 other finely made objects, archaeologists determined that the tribe that had inhabited these dwellings had gained sustenance through hunting, as most of the stone objects were for hunting or fighting in battle. A number of pottery objects were also found, all exhibiting a noticeable difference in appearance from the pottery items discovered among the Sangguan relics. Quite unlike finds at sites of Yangshao culture, no coloured pottery was found here. This 3-legged object is a cooking utensil called by archaeologists a li. It is representative of the finds from the Shaizi Lingluo site. But how long ago were these objects made, and to whom do they belong?
原先发掘的也有这个时期的这个东西， 农场文化，它那个主要特点就是岭，比如说高岭低脖子，宽泽间，对吧？大带走，它那个主要容量就在带走上头，就是腿之间有2个鸡冠耳，表面都施一层纹。
Longshan culture evolved after Yangshao culture, but both belong to the late Neolithic period. This culture was first found in a place called Longshan in Shandong province, hence its name. The three-legged container, which features characteristics of Longshan culture, was found among relics that date between the Longshan era and that of the Western Zhou dynasty. Most of the pottery objects found at the Shaizi, Lingluo and Zhuangke sites also belonging to Longshan culture are grey and bear a different decorative pattern. The li is the most frequently occurring object among cooking utensils. These pottery objects from different sites vary in one way or another, but all of them share the characteristics of Longshan culture, and this means that the people of this culture travelled far and wide. However, Longshan culture evolved from Dawenkou culture, a culture that originated at the foot of Mount Tai in Shandong. Recently, a number of archaeologists have advanced a theory that the credit for both Longshan and Dawenkou cultures should be accorded to different tribes of the same people, a people who went by the name Dongyi. The Jiuli tribe, which was headed by Chiyou, was part of the Dongyi. As some scholars see it, both the Longshan and Dawenkou cultures spread with the expansion of the Jiuli tribe, or the Dongyi people as a whole. According to records of history, the Jiuli consisted of 9 sub-tribes that were closely related and 81 more distant tribes. They lived more than 5,000 years ago in the area between present-day Shandong, Hebei and Henan, with Chufu at the center. Compared with other areas at that time, this area had a fairly developed economy and culture, and because of the famous Zhuolu battle that took place here, the area was widely known.
这个皇帝后来被战胜了蚩尤，蚩尤被皇帝擒拿住，又被杀掉。但是呢，绝不说明这蚩尤就是就不以成败论英雄嘛。皇帝是英雄，蚩尤也不能说他就是一个弱者，就是一个这个懦弱者。蚩尤在中国历史上也是很受尊重的，在中国历史上把蚩尤作为战神来崇拜的时候，并没有那种 贬低的色彩，而是都是作为英雄被崇拜的。
Although Chiyou was defeated on the battlefield and was captured and killed by Huangdi, he was for many years in Chinese history a popular figure, regarded as a defeated hero and formidable god of war. After his death, says the ancient book stories of Mount Sanxi, wars did not stop. Huangdi, in order to pacify these rebellious tribes, showed them Chiyou's portrait and claimed he did not die, and thus made them all acknowledge allegiance.
蚩尤虽然被杀，却仍然受到了对手的尊重，威名远播。这说明烛龙大战之后，皇帝对蚩尤部族不是赶尽杀绝，而是采取了怀柔政策。例如，宜州书《上门篇》说，皇帝战胜蚩尤以后，命令邵浩卿领导东夷各部，安抚蚩尤旧部，使东夷部族集团得到了继续的发展，从而加大了华夏族与东夷两大集团的融合的趋势，也奠定了中华民族的基础。
According to history books, After the Battle of Zhuolu, Huang Di instructed one of his generals, Xiao Haoqing, to return to Shandong to take charge of local tribes.
There are many versions of Chiyou's story, some of which are still told today in the Shandong area. In some historical records, it is claimed that in the Zhuolu area, it was not only Huang Di who had a city. Chiyou had one too. And the question is, where was it?
Longwangtang, 3 kilometers southeast of the ancient town of Zhuolu inside present-day Zhuolu County, is a large village of more than 1,000 households, and people say this is where Chiyou's troops gathered. Before the Ming Dynasty, this place was known as Chiyou Village, and even today, some people still call this spring Chiyou Spring. The spring is right in the center of the village in front of the site of the village committee building. In the past, the committee operated from an old temple, but it was destroyed during the Cultural Revolution. History books record that there was a spring inside the ancient city of Chiyou, 3 kilometers from present-day Zhuolu. Its water was said to be unfathomably deep, fresh and clear all year round. It apparently flowed northeast before joining the Zhuoshui River in Fanshan. As it happens, this record agrees with a local legend. It is September 2006, and Zhao Yuda has come to Longwangtang village. It is his second visit, as he first came here 20 years ago as the chief of the Zhuolu Countercultural Bureau to collect folk stories, legends, sagas and proverbs. Not surprisingly then, he's heard many stories about the battle between Huang Di, Chiyou and Yan Di, and he's been engaged in finding out more about them. On this visit, he gains an important clue. Ma Hongrui tells him that more than 30 years ago he was planting trees in Chiyou village when he came across a layer of bricks. Even today, he can't figure out where the bricks came from and why they were there.